I want to remind you to protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. God bless.
What are you looking at?
Let's go.
Or will he try to be the bigger man? Because Marquez landed 70% of his power punches. That's what Guerrero will be hoping to do also, is to pick Katsidis apart.
Guerrero has not yet tasted Katsidis' power, but...
Well, Guerrero can shock you. Several months ago against the aging and diminished, he chose to box and won a decision against Casamayor. Better fighter, Vicente Escobedo, with much better skills, and basically made himself the bigger, stronger man against Escobedo.
You get closer with some of those shots.
Guerrero seems to want to land harder shots than has been his definition before, and there's a solid left hand down the middle. Found a way in, or isn't ready. Good quick right hook by Guerrero. Uppercut, left hand. Guerrero tagging Katsidis with power shots, and Michael Katsidis not finding a way to return.
And I read it wrong. Katsidis a big, strong lightweight. Guerrero makes him look small.
Oh, you look at him in there as a lightweight and wonder, how does he make 135? Good quick right hook. Katsidis tried to counter with an uppercut.
Leverage is a taller fighter to punch down at Katsidis, particularly with the left-handed power shots. Straight down the middle. The odds reflect.
Make it through the last 3 years. As distracted as he was. Watch this, and now his glove touched the canvas, and the referee chose not to call it a knockdown.
Guerrero,
I don't think there's any question Guerrero's glove touched the canvas.
Yeah, I agree, Jim. Guerrero, on the one hand, may be foolish to stand and trade when he just got touched up. On the other hand, seems determined not to let Katsidis take the play from him.
Well, he may now know what he didn't know before about Katsidis punching power. And the fight changed. So both fighters have had moments now. Although Katsidis, who might have gotten a two-point round here, probably isn't going to get it, since Russell Mora did not rule the knockdown.
But if this turns into the kind of fight that's chin for chin, heart for heart.
Round one was a wipeout, all Guerrero. Katsidis has made his point in round two, and this stacks up now to be a heck of a fight from here on in.
But knockdown not called, not a 10-8 round, even if you give it to Katsidis, which I'm not sure Katsidis won the round in the first.
It may be Guerrero winning the round overall. Let's take us through it.
Oh, here we go. A little bit obscured by the ref, kind of cuffed behind the ear and then sort of pushed with the right hand. I guess it could have been a knockdown because the glove certainly touched the canvas, which would have been a knockdown after a punch.
Regardless of whether he wins or loses.
Yep. He and Brandon Rios, although Brandon Rios hasn't lost yet. It's about that knockdown. Technically it was, as you both say.
I think that's fair. I think that's entirely fair. Hey, sometimes you make your own breaks with the way you're fighting.
Let go, hands free.
Katsidis is finding a way to get in now, basically just diving in.
Katsidis is the kind of fighter, even if you beat him, you're gonna know you were in a tough fight.
There's redness right around the bridge of the nose, where Guerrero is planting that straight left hand. There it is again.
Most impressive thing about this performance so far, to me, about Guerrero.
Constantly oncoming as Katsidis for the last year or so. I'm incorrect to say it was the first time. Round four begins. So far on Harold Letterman's card, Katsidis is grinning at Guerrero again. I'm not sure if he thinks that's going to psych Guerrero out or if he's just having fun fighting. Another good hard left hand. The range of Guerrero
and the will, the fortitude.
Katsidis grinning like a jack-o'-lantern and eating left hands.
Now we see Guerrero
almost caught him with the uppercut.
Right after I made that comment that he had in the first three.
Right hand momentarily wobbles Guerrero. Touches Katsidis. Good body shot by Katsidis with the left hand.
For time, if he can't get Katsidis out of there, can he continually thwart that attack?
And how long will Katsidis' skin hold up? When are the cuts going to begin?
Oh.
Trading shots in the center of the ring. What a fight. He's going to have to keep a fast pace because Guerrero has a bigger body and better technique.
That's right.
Katsidis seems to be focused on trying to stay in the fight, that's for sure.
Some hints, some insight into it in the corner just then. But for whatever reason, it seems like they get into position to punch, and then you go to the offense to get into his own offensive position.
And wear Guerrero down.
Get him up.
CompuBox, for instance, in the 4th round, counting only 28 attempted punches by Katsidis, while Guerrero, we were astonished by Marquez's 70% numbers against Katsidis. Offensive commitment, and most other fighters.
And this is when his trainer's saying defense first.
Yeah.
What if his trainer says offense first?
Watch your heads, guys. Watch your heads.
That's the punch that keeps Katsidis honest and does that.
Well, Katsidis may think he's got it right where he wants him now. If he can land the big right hand in return, but Guerrero believes he's got a chance to finish it right here.
Well, this is where Katsidis is most like Arturo Gatti. He looks like he's about to get knocked out, and then it's a fight. The sense that he's wobbling and about to go, and then his ability is way back in.
Is one of the very clear, indisputable, controlling division champions in boxing. He's the lightweight king. If Robert Guerrero can finish this performance off this way, there's going to be enormous demand. He's
27 years old, he's in his prime.
He's ready for Marquez if he can finish this off.
It's controlled this fight for Guerrero even more than the jab. It's that perfect straight left down the middle, thrown with leverage as a taller man, that's kept Katsidis from giving Guerrero the bum's rush, and there got Katsidis into deep trouble. I think the reason that Katsidis isn't backing him up, and it's the gutsiest part of Guerrero's game plan and the most impressive, controlling the center of the ring by throwing that straight left hand so effectively like that.
Landing the power shot straight up the middle with thudding regularity. Yeah, fighting a big man's fight. But Guerrero's handling it pretty well. The McCrory brothers.
Hearns, Jimmy
Hearns.
Paul.
Who had 14 consecutive successful title defenses in the middleweight division. But not without exciting moments as Katsidis appeared to score.
Suits him, obviously. And thus far, the most impressive performance of his career, I believe. Could all change with Katsidis, as we've been warning.
Has thud.
And doesn't stop coming.
Has pop and never quits. And has great self-belief. I mean, you can see that Katsidis still believes that he's right there to win the fight. Good body shot by Guerrero.
Watch your heads.
As fatigue sets in, maintain the discipline and the fortitude. Control Katsidis and not get dragged into Katsidis kind of fight.
Under the right eye of Michael Katsidis. The face swells, the cheek swells up, and now Guerrero has popped it open, probably with a left hand, and there's significant blood flowing under the eye.
He's also not going to scoop him.
Hard right hook by Guerrero. Now you heard Brendan Smith saying to Michael Katsidis, forget the head, just go to the body. Hit the arms, the shoulders, hit anything you can.
1 point, low blow. 1 point, low blow. 1 point, low blow.
But that was a pretty quick point deduction.
It's quite possible that he has mentioned it to him earlier in the fight, but I'm not aware of it. And there's another very close to low blow by Katsidis. But on the other hand, he's getting in some good shots right around the ribcage. And he certainly is focused there and there alone.
Stop! Time! Over there. Over there. Come here. No more punches low. You got to get him up. 1 point, low blow.
Another point deduction.
1 point, low blow.
Low blow violation would produce a disqualification.
And that really helps Guerrero because those body shots seem to be very effective. Although Katsidis doesn't seem dissuaded from going back to the body.
Early in the round.
I mean, first he hit him low. That seemed to take a little steam out of Guerrero.
Now Katsidis manages to back Guerrero up to the ropes.
Fantastic work from Katsidis. That's a low blow.
That was a low blow, and Russell Mora is saying once again to Katsidis to keep them up.
Whatever he can to fight his way back in the fight.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, great uppercut. Guerrero wants to try to finish again, but Katsidis is barely stunned by the uppercut and keeps throwing. Sections earlier in the fight.
You can see Katsidis coming.
Katsidis trains in Thailand and likes to say that his training camp is tougher than everyone else's. Virtually all fighters will tell you that their training camp is the toughest. Unimaginable, no one else can do it.
He is depraved. Right hand, clearly below the belt. Here's a second low blow. I don't know, it seemed to parry off his right elbow. It landed low.
Now here's the uppercut, Max.
And this is why I say Katsidis is crazy. I mean, who takes these kind of, like Katsidis did it with intent, but maybe not.
You don't care where they're landing. I don't know what the difference is.
And incidentally, Guerrero's belly button is not showing. We mentioned that before. Lands on the belt.
A guy like this.
Yeah, and these aren't cupcakes Guerrero's throwing throughout this fight. He's throwing hard shots at Katsidis. Just the energy to keep throwing at a guy coming at you. The psychological pressure that Katsidis can exert.
The people around Guerrero say that it's difficult. He's battled with cancer for 3 years. They have 2 small children.
Stop!
There have been
1 point, low blow. 1 point, low blow.
He deducts from Guerrero.
I believe this is a make-good call. Too quickly from Katsidis, and he just made it up to him.
Yeah, and deducted points from Guerrero don't matter any more than deducted points. There were days when he was trying to train, transport the children, go take care of Casey after or before her medical treatment,
guys.
sleep in the hospital. All of that means you're not focused basically 3 times as many power shots as Michael Katsidis in the fight.
Guerrero being able to fight when there's a very good possibility that you can be the only parent to young children. In a blood and guts.
To be freer in the ring.
I mean, Katsidis is still live in this fight. Guerrero is made to a lopsided win, but Gaddy, in the sense that he gets hit in ways and hurt in ways that you think the fight's about to end, and then a few minutes later, he's the one on the attack hurting his opponent. One of his great attributes as an action fighter. Okay. This fight's over, and
those were the moments that made Gaddy unique. And Katsidis is the closest thing we've seen to the second coming of Arturo Gaddy.
Maybe without quite the power, as Emmanuel Stewart has pointed out in the past.
This is the 3rd fight on a 4-fight card. Between rounds, we're going to show you what happened. Got back to the dressing room after the fight. Kirkland's new trainer, Kenny Adams, he had some health issues recently. We're not sure exactly what Kenny's condition is at this point. Bottom line, Kirkland went down in the fight. Kenny Adams went down in the dressing room.
Hard work that Kirkland requires as a fighter. He's that kind of fighter. He needs to work hard in training camp to be prepared. Not going to out-slick guys.
And let me say this cautiously. I'll take their word for it. Let's hope that it's purely precautionary.
Are still capable of, you know, teaching the craft. Well,
Kenny Adams, a decorated military officer, I believe, exiting from Katsidis' shots.
Hands free, guys, hands free.
Rather than just trying to convince Katsidis, you know, I'm the boss in the middle of the ring, having proved his point. Basically staying out of Katsidis' fight. Wanted to see earlier in the fight if he could get the knockout. I think he's decided maybe.
Very interesting. If I were Brandon Smith, the only thing I would have said was, you're way the heck behind. Go out and knock this guy out. 97, 8 rounds for Robert Guerrero. I thought that Katsidis did a nice job around 10, but in the 11th round, knowing that he needed a knockout to win.
What a performance by Guerrero.
Guerrero's going back and really snapping Katsidis' neck back.
And Katsidis has proven a worthy measuring stick.
He's a responsible defensive fighter.
And the King is as gifted and technically pure an offensive fighter as can be found in the sport over the past 20 years.
Arguably the greatest featherweight of this last golden featherweight era.
Stop!
By both Barrera and Morales.
And Nassim Hamed.
As the clock clicks down, and we're talking about Marquez because unless something changes in the next 30 seconds, Robert Guerrero seems very clearly so the answer to Katsidis' question was that Guerrero was looking at him and getting ready to hit him 400 times plus in the fight. That's what he was looking at.
From Gilroy, California, Robert the Ghost Guerrero.
He wasn't the ghost tonight. He was the beast.